Hitting Joe Biden for his role in passing the 1994 crime bill and a Spanish language ad falsely claiming the former vice president is in cognitive decline. Pfeiffer theorizes the intent is to, quote, diminish overall black and Latino turnout to make it easier to win the election with only white voters. In a close race, reducing turnout among these groups by a point or two could be decisive. The Trump campaign isn't trying to increase Trump's vote total, just shrink Biden's. The second strategy Pfeiffer sees is going after Biden's faculties. Quote, a smear campaign to paint Biden as cognitively unfit aims to push those voters toward a third-party candidate or, more likely, to give up and sit out the election. And we saw that second strategy playing out last night. Earlier this week, a Fox News reporter asked Joe Biden about whether he's been tested for cognitive decline.
Some have speculated, sir, that you are subject to some degree of cognitive decline. I'm 65. I don't have word recollection that I used to have. I forget my train of thought from time to time. You got 12 years on me, sir. Have you been tested for some degree of cognitive decline?
I've been tested, and I'm constantly tested. Look, all I got to do is watch me, and I can hardly wait to compare my cognitive capability to the cognitive capability of the man I'm running against.
In replying last night to a Breitbart article about Biden's comments, Trump tweeted, quote, he cannot pass the test. I aced.
Is he still talking about that test? They show a picture of a lion and say, what is this?
Yeah.
Is that really what he's bragging about 3 years later?
Here's what's in the cognitive test that the president claims he aced, since you brought it up.
Lord.
As the New York Times explained back in 2018, to assess attention and concentration, subjects are read a list of 5 digits and are asked to repeat them in the order they were provided. Other exercises include drawing a clock with the hands pointing to 11:10 and identifying a lion, rhino, or a camel. A perfect score is 30. A score from 26 to 30 is considered normal.
2 years later, he is bragging about being able to identify a lion or a rhino or a camel.
Second, once again, this is why saying Biden is suffering from mental decline is not a winning strategy for the president.
I know words. I have the best words.
In 1870, President Ulysses S. Grant, that beautiful Orion space capsule, the combat infantryman badge of our nation as a sovereign country.
A lot of work has been done, a lot of renovation, if you look at some of it.
Defensive missions and missiles. Your devotion, prowess, then you will gain momentum. Heroin alone, if you look at the heroin epidemic.
The federal government is conducting an aggressive investigation.
And to delegitimize. As bad as it is, it meant something by an anonymous, really anonymous. You're going to see some statistics coming out. Americans of all walks of life rose up. Assistant Secretary Girard and Surgeon General Adams, heart, lung, and liver transplants annually. Advising lawmakers, but China's their supply chain. This Russia thing with Trump, I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation, the beginnings. And every single car out there, even the really expensive ones, and we used to have Radio Free Europe, like I think Radio Free Europe. The Nazis, the invasion of Normandy, and the liberation of Europe. A brilliant star shone in the east, wise men traveled far. Really big beneficiaries. Whole state to be a sanctuary for criminal. To shield and shelter criminal. Look, wait. The members of our armed forces, and you understand that very well. And the internet, if you think about this, rich traditions of this convention. Expectations in the House for the midterm and midterm year. Waive all applicable state taxes despite these obstacles, Karen. The Central Command response and crisis response. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt as Hurricane Irma approaches. And he voted for Obama amnesty by a sleazebag lawyer named Abiante. That's what the United Nations is all about. Will not be tolerated any longer. Merry Christmas, everybody. We just have to say it. You know, we just said another stock market. You saw that, right? The stock market. And to replace chasms of distrust ever foisted upon the American people. And then they announced there was no buys, no. Seek real bipartisan solutions. Made a pivotal, really, and I mean this was pivotal, reauthorized the 9/11 victims. In April of 2014, our Army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. These historic accomplishments shades our embassies in Kenya and Tanzania. It's great to be back in Missouri, Ghana, Guinea, Nambia, Jerusalem. Thank the Minneapolis police. Venezuela's working to improve this country and your terrific government. And God bless the United States. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Hard to watch. Donna Deutsch, we could fill the whole show with these.